What's up, YouTube? My name is Eric, and welcome to my channel. It's all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, sobriety, just making sure that nobody goes through life alone. This video here is on Taylor Nicole Dean, and essentially her video that says, I'm a heroin addict. I'm a recovering addict. So this video I thought was actually great, and I just really wanted to show my support as one addict to another of explaining even to others what this journey is like and even why we share some of the stuff that we share. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. Feel free to smash that like button right there. Comment down below because it's people helping people just make a difference. So let's do this together. What's up, YouTube? My name is Eric, and welcome to my channel. It's all suicide awareness, sobriety, mental health, mental illness, making sure that nobody goes through life alone. This video here is about Taylor Nicole Dean. She put out a video recently that I'm a heroin addict, and I've done a video a little while back on Taylor Nicole Dean. It was about her first journey to sobriety, and it has nothing to do with any drama or anything. It has to do with how it is as an addict, and I'm very passionate and love when other people share about being an addict because it inspires people in addiction to go, you know what, I'm at that point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and to fight through. And also get sober and to change their life, and that is a beautiful gift. So Taylor Nicole Dean, first off and foremost, let me congratulate you on your sobriety. Let me congratulate you on the strength to share. And you know what? It's a we thing. It's a community thing of addicts helping addicts. Just get sober one day at a time. If you don't know who Taylor Nicole Dean is, let me first explain to you. So Taylor Nicole Dean is a YouTube personality, which makes her kind of a personality in general. She has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which does, my books classify you as a large YouTuber. If you have over 1 million subscribers, I think right now at this point she's at like 1.7 million subscribers, which is, I mean, that's a huge area of influence. Has a large Twitter following, a large Instagram following. So you have this personality. She's a very big animal lover, and she does a lot of videos on animals and her animal collection. And then there's drama, of course, that spills into, is she a hoarder of animals? All of this, that bullshit set aside, let's just go to the addiction side of it, of heroin. I'm an addict also, and I am a recovering addict. My drugs of choice were cocaine and alcohol. Taylor Nicole Dean's was heroin, and in this video she says, I'm a heroin addict, and that's part of what being an addict is for us to own what we're addicted to. So what she ended up doing, she put together this video, and it's a longer video of her path of what led her into relapse and led her down this road of, there's so many different things that trigger us down the road of especially relapsing and using. Because a lot of times when it comes to our addiction, and if you watch the video, we use it as a coping mechanism, and it's the most unhealthiest coping mechanism in the world, and it will kill us. I mean, there's really 3 things that ends up happening to an addict. You either die, you end up in jail, or you get sober. So in reality, you either get sober or die. Those are your 2 choices. She talks about in the beginning of it of, you know, relationships, getting into relationships and abuse, and that is for a lot of people that I have realized because I do a lot of outreach, something that does trigger somebody into even relapsing. If you're around it and there is that idealization of drugs, or somebody does begin to start using around you, as much as you may love that person at the time, you have to love yourself more. You have to want it more inside you, and it's not easy to do. And it's a good example. I mean, she went through a lot when it came to abuse and in this relationship that it really led her back down the path of relapse. And let's face it, when we relapse, it's a quick relapse. It's not like, oh, I use and then I don't use for another 4 or 5 months. No, I mean, every time I've relapsed off of alcohol, within a week I was worse than what I ever was. So it picks up extremely quick. That's why relapse is so dangerous, because we get worse than what we ever were than when we were using. So she goes into abuse. She goes into the relationship that eventually, with her ex, that turned into a drug idolization, using drugs, and then eventually relapsing on drugs. That even she goes into that. I mean, if you're in that position in life, you've got to leave it, no matter how painful it is. Heartbreak is temporary. Addiction can kill you. Heartbreak, nobody's going to die from heartbreak. You're going to find somebody else. Addiction will kill you. And, you know, with her, I give her so much credit and so much praise in the sense of no matter what drug it is, an addict is an addict. Heroin, to me, is one of the most scariest drugs because it is cut with fentanyl, which is pretty much an instant overdose and you're dead. So she opens up and she shares about this, and she makes herself very vulnerable. And people can say sometimes, well, you're on YouTube, and people are on YouTube and they're sharing about their sobriety and trying to get sober, and they're looking for pity. We're not looking for pity. It's our way of holding ourselves accountable. When we're an addict and we're in recovery, like she is now, we blast it out everywhere. We're putting it on social media, we're putting it on YouTube, we're putting it anywhere we can, and that's our form, not for attention, but for accountability for ourselves, that we make ourselves so vulnerable that anyone can call us out for not being sober, because it's so important for us to be sober. It's like our safety nets that we're setting out all around us. And she put this video out and she literally spills it all, and that's part of what sobriety is. Sobriety is accountability of everything. Owning your story, owning what you've been through, owning what you've done, making amends where you need to make amends, righting all the wrongs that you can right, and then moving forward. The one thing that I really commend her for is because her story is inspiring, because it shows that relapse doesn't have to be the end of your life. Relapse doesn't have to be the end of your sobriety, and that you can get sober. So she opens up, she's in now recovery. She also opens up about sober living. She opens up about rehab, which is so important, because the more that we share about this, everybody's message is different. My message of sobriety is different than her message of sobriety, different than CG Kid's message of sobriety, who's a good friend of mine, Derek Lambert, who's a good friend of mine. All of our sobriety journeys are different, but they're all the same. It's a similar message, but it's all different. The more that all of us share our story, the more that we're going to connect with that one person out there, that one addict out there that can't get the needle out of their arm, that can't put the bottle down, that can't stop smoking that pipe. We don't know what message is going to hit, and so the more messages that we put out, the more extent of that message we put out, the more that it may help that one addict out there. And at the same time, it's helping us. There's a saying in sobriety that, you got to give it away to keep it. And that is true. The more that we give it away, the more that we invest into the work and into the community of sobriety, the more that it helps just that reinforcement of, hey, I'm an addict. I'm going to be an addict for the rest of my life. But it doesn't have to control my life. I'm always going to be, in my mind, an addict in recovery. And that's how I view it. And again, that's my different view, where everybody does get sober different ways. And it is all about getting sober. But her opening up about this does help other people become more comfortable, especially in the fact that her audience is a little bit of a younger crowd. It's not a older crowd, where it reminds you that it's okay. I put my phone number out there every single day on TikTok. I used to do it on Twitter. For anybody out there struggling with mental health, mental illness, or sobriety, hit me up, reach out to me. And I have a lot of addicts that do reach out to me. And talking to them, a lot of people are afraid of rehab. A lot of people are afraid of telling their family. A lot of people are afraid of telling anybody, because it's our deep, dark secret, even though a lot of people already know we are an addict. And we're afraid of meetings, and we're afraid of the program, and we're afraid of what to do, and we want to know what to do, and we want that quick fix. And that's the biggest thing I got out of this video. There is no quick fix to addiction. It is a process. It is a journey. There is a journey behind it that got us to that point, and then it's a journey from forward on. That there isn't that quick fix, and as an addict, we want that quick fix. Let's face it, our high, we get high like that. If I was to drink, I'm flying like that. We want to be sober just like that, and it doesn't work that way. There's no cure-it-all pill out there. There's no sobriety pill. And if there was a sobriety pill, we as addicts would want two of them. We don't want just the one. We're going to take two, because that's going to speed up the process. And that is what I got out of this, is she even goes into how long of a journey this is. And it's sometimes one hell of a process to get there, and there are different warning signs along the way, such as relationship, abuse, living situations. There's so many different things along the way that you have to pick up on those, so that then you avoid those from now on. Or if you are going down that road, red lights start flashing and going, oh my God, I'm on the road to relapse. I'm on the road to relapse. And you start reaching back out to your sobriety community. And let's face it, sometimes we even feel that we own sobriety. We got this. I don't need my meetings anymore. I don't need to talk about sobriety anymore. I got this. And then you relapse. I mean, I know people that have been sober for 10 years, 20 years, 15 years that have relapsed. I also know people that have relapsed for 10, 15, 20 years that have relapsed, and they died on that relapse. So it is life and death. Her sharing about this just, I think, did a great job of hitting that target community out there of younger individuals that might be afraid of the program, might be afraid of rehab, might be afraid of being open about it, because the more that we're open about it, the more people that will speak up about it. I mean, that's the joy of talking about it. The more that we talk about it, the more that other people then talk about it, and then the more that the conversation starts. The more that you can even go through a comment section of a video and actually even reach out to somebody there and finding those right people to connect with. So her sharing her story, I give her all the credit in the world. I really applaud her, because it is a journey, and there's not a lot really that's right to even pick apart, because her journey is her journey, my journey is mine. Everybody's is different. And it's one of those that, yeah, you do sometimes get hate. And, I watch her videos sometimes, when, especially the sobriety ones. I'm not a huge when it comes down to exotic animals, but I do watch her sobriety videos. And it's amazing even then to see some of the hate comments that you get during that. And this is my way of even saying, you know what, Taylor and Nicole Dean, congratulations on your sobriety. I know that you have gotten some hate along the way. I mean, I did a video about somebody who was spewing that you are sober and that you are sharing your journey, and it's making a difference, and it's also holding yourself accountable, and that you're being very open about it, that hopefully intrigues or sparks somebody else to be open about it too, or even if they're in a relationship similar to yours, or situations that were similar to yours on the road to rehabs, that those red signs come up and the red lights go off and the sirens go off, and they go, no, maybe I need to go back to a meeting. I've been away from the program for a while, or maybe I need to, call up that old sponsor who I still have the phone number and say, hey, do you remember me? I need some help. I'm on the road to relapse, and getting back involved in that community. It's so important to share your story. And I applaud you for sharing yours, and I applaud you for the difference that you made in sharing a detailed timeline of how that happened. And it's inspired me to end up doing a video on my different relapses of how they would happen. Because, I had some relapses that happened very quickly, and I had some that were kind of a slow process to getting me there. And it made me realize that, hey, that story alone can help an addict out there that wants to get sober. So again, I applaud you on your sobriety. I applaud you on your story. Way to keep making it happen. If you are an addict out there and you are struggling, in the description I do have links to the AA program, the NA program, to Al-Anon if you're a family member that has an addict in the family, of how to help them, because it really comes into the difference between enabling and supporting, and there are huge differences in that. Along with all of my social media links, feel free to reach out to myself. Like I mentioned, I'm a recovering addict. My drug of choice was cocaine, and my drug of choice was alcohol. Those were my two just die-hard drugs of choice. And you can fight through. It does get better. It is worth it, and it becomes a beautiful life again. So if you need to reach out, I also have the link to the mental health Discord. It's peer-to-peer support. You can reach out there. It's about getting that support. It's about moving forward in life. So you've got this. If you haven't clicked that like and subscribe button, click that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. It's people helping people just make a difference in life, and together we can do this. And again, Taylor Nicole Dean, congratulations. It's one day at a time, and you got this.